What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's time for the hashtag lunchtime live draft as I try and adjust my camera's falling down on me. Maybe time to upgrade that. But welcome in to the lunchtime live draft brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Join me at FF the At Home Dad on Twitters. Join me and my co-host at Dynasty _ Pat every week on the Fantasy Facts podcast. Check that out on Twitter's at GX Fantasy Facts. In the meantime, we got a live draft already set up, looking like we're about to begin. I'm already on the clock doing some Thanksgiving Day drafting because why not? What better holiday is there than Thanksgiving? Family, food, football, and hopefully you're doing some football fantasy style with Underdog. So I had the first overall pick, and position scarcity is real, even in a 4-person draft like this. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to get myself Josh Allen right away. I want to lock up that quarterback position. And as I kind of do that, I'm going to make sure I can actually show you guys what's happening, because that's part of the fun, is that you all get to see what I'm doing as it's happening. You get to be a part of the draft with me. And it looks like, yep, see, we have 2 quarterbacks already off the board. If you're not able to snag one of the top 2 quarterbacks, or it's only the Thursday slate, so it's Josh Allen or Dak Prescott, you're stuck with Derek Carr, third best, but still definitely a tier break away. And then you have Andy Dalton, Trevor Siemian, Jared Gorf may or may not be playing. Tim Boyle getting another start. It's not pretty. It's really just not pretty. So that's why I wanted to go out and really make sure I attacked that quarterback position. And it looks like it's going to come back to me, and I'm going to be able to get my next most scarce position. There's 5 seconds left for this person to make his call, and I really hope he doesn't take away what I'm looking at here, which would be Darren Waller, and they did not. So I'm going to go ahead. I need to scoop up Darren Waller right away. That's going to give me such a bonus in terms of position scarcity that I really want to make sure that I'm taking advantage of. So my first 2 picks are quarterback and tight end. I know that goes slightly against some common fantasy football perspectives, some thought processes there, but that to me is going to be just a win for me. I do really like I really like the CeeDee Lamb is so low right now. The news reports this morning are that he is going to practice today. If he practices today, it looks like he's going to play tomorrow. So to me, that is a let's fire up me some CeeDee Lamb, because he is the best wide receiver on the board after Stephon Diggs. So I am waiting on running back here, partly because in the position scarcity battle, I went with Allen and Waller right away, which means I'm not getting Zeke. I'm not getting DeAndre Swift. I'm not getting David Montgomery, Mark Ingram, who was a little bit dinged up also, but it does give me some opportunity a little bit later on. I have Josh Jacobs. I have Tony Pollard. Those are both guys that I would be happy with. And of course, as I say that, Josh Jacobs comes right off the board, but still Tony Pollard and Kenyon Drake, I'm okay with having those guys. One, if Zeke's knee is actually a little banged up, which he said it wasn't, but it looked like maybe a little bit, just a little bit. He may, Pollard may get a little bit more work, especially on a short week like this. And Emmanuel Sanders went off the board. So I do have kind of my pick of the litter here for these running backs. I do need to scoop up a wide receiver with one of these picks here. So as my time kind of ticks down and I'm, sitting with Tony Pollard in my queue, I'm looking to see, who am I going to pick up with my pretty much second wide receiver spot. I think it's going to be Cole Beasley. He's one of those types of guys. One, he can stack with Josh Allen, which gives me a little bit of a bonus. There's correlation that happens there between the starting quarterback and having a wide receiver. Now, I'd be much happier if I could do Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. But I think having, Cole Beasley in there will be a nice little kind of slot option, considering that, underdog is half point PPR. It gives me a little bit, even if he's just getting, 10 catches, which sounds like a lot because it is a lot, but that's what Cole Beasley can do. It'd be a little bit of a stretch, but I think having him as that number 2 wide receiver, it's really a sad point when I'm more excited for Cole Beasley than Allen Robinson. Like that just kind of hurts the soul a little bit. And you can see that the last person there, the person picking out of that 4th spot, just ended up picking Andy Dalton with their last pick, because there's just nothing left in terms of quarterbacks. Like, if you don't get Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, or Derek Carr, there's literally just nothing left there. All right, so I'm up with this last pick here, and I kind of like the upside that I have in a bunch of different places. I'm going to go with a little bit of safety here, and instead of taking a guy like Traquan Smith or Amon-Ra or even Marquez Callaway, Brian Edwards, any of these guys that may be potential plays there, I'm going to go with a little bit of safety here, and I'm going to go Kenyon Drake. It would be really nice. Alvin Kamara is sitting there, but it does look like he's not going to be playing. So it would have been nice to kind of, scoop Alvin Kamara at the end there, but all signs are pointing to him not playing, which I'd rather get a little bit of points out of Kenyon Drake versus no points out of Alvin Kamara. So there's our final team. We have Josh Allen, Darren Waller, CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, Cole Beasley, and Kenyon Drake. I think I match up well against the other teams, especially considering, the other tight ends there are Dalton Schultz, TJ Hawkinson, Dawson Knox. Like, those are all viable options. But considering what the gap should be between Darren Waller and those other 3, I feel a whole lot more confident in getting that early value at tight end than I would in getting, a guy like Michael Gallup, Darnell Mooney, Hunter Renfrow, Josh Jacobs, Emmanuel Sanders, even Tony Pollard, like those guys like that I'm not as happy about having them on my team there. So I'm going to see, it looks like we have looks like we can sneak in at least another 4-person draft. I'm going to go ahead and do that because it looks like we already got one ready, like fired up, ready to go. So looks like I went from the 1st overall pick to the 4th overall pick. But as we wait for that to get going, one more time, make sure you reach out to me at FF the At Home Dad. I have the DMs open. I have a bunch of, different ways to try and get in touch with people. DM me, put it out on Twitter, hit me up, because that's what I enjoy doing. I like talking football. I like having those conversations, and I want to hear from you. What do you want to know about? What can I do to kind of help you out in your decision making? And sometimes all you need is for somebody else, even if you don't agree with them. If I make a point and you're like, good point, but I completely disagree, I actually feel more confident now in the player that I'm going to start or the player that I'm going to sit. And that's fine. Also, you're not going to hurt my feelings. It's perfectly fine. Right. So, reach out, let me know what's going on. How's it happening for you? And let's have those conversations, because 1, I just enjoy doing it. And 2, hopefully we can help you out in return. So it looks like we're already jumping into it. Dak Prescott is already off the board. Let me go ahead and get the share screen back up so that you all can see. Oh, and we're actually not ready for the share screen because I didn't make a full size yet. Silly. All right, let's now Wait for it. Let's now try to get that share screen up. And let's see what we got going on here. So again, position scarcity, me coming out of that fourth spot. This is going to be tough because I might just stack right away with Derek Carr and Waller because I don't want to get stuck with Andy Dalton. Like that to me, that's the worst possible case scenario is that I'm stuck with Andy Dalton, Trevor Siemian, and actually Trevor Siemian had himself a decent day. But I just don't have faith. I don't have faith in it. So I do think that, pairing together Derek Carr and Darren Waller is going to give me a bit of a bump. And even again, if I miss out all the way down to the next tier of running backs, I can still get a Josh Jacobs. I can still get Tony Pollard or Kenyon Drake, which again, you're not as happy with those options, but I'm a lot happier with stacking Carr and Waller than I am with stacking like a Tim Boyle and a Hawkinson, or I am with having, going with a running back here and getting Hawkinson later on. So I am going to go with that stack. I'm going to see what we got going on right now in terms of other options here. I fully expect, there's not going to be another quarterback going off the board until the last round. At least there shouldn't be. It would be a really bad choice by whoever's in this third spot. Wow. Couldn't decide if I wanted to say third slot or third spot. Whoever's in that third spot there, it would be a really bad choice for them to take a quarterback because no more quarterbacks are going to come off the board. So let's see. We have... Yep, DeAndre Swift just went off the board. I'm probably not going to get another running back here, which to me, I'm going to wait pretty much. Yep, and they just went pretty much in order. Swift, Elliott, and David Montgomery right off the board. I'm probably not going to end up taking a running back here until until probably the last round-ish. Just because there's so little benefit in taking a running back at this point, considering those top guys are kind of off the board. If I can get Josh Jacobs here with the 3-4, I'm gonna and it's like they're listening. Josh Jacobs just went off the board right in front, and at this point, like, does it matter if I take Mark Ingram, Tony Pollard, or Kenyon Drake? Not really. Like I'm gonna get one of those three unless somebody decides to go ahead and stack up on running backs. But there's no real reason for me here to to stress over running back. So I'm going to start looking at these wide receivers, and again, I'm looking at CeeDee Lamb. He's top on my list here. And then Emmanuel Sanders falls into the next kind of best option for me. So those are the two guys that I'm going to go with here at the turn. I'm going to go with CeeDee Lamb and Emmanuel Sanders, and I'm going to try and, at least take away some of those wide receiver options there. And I would be surprised if another running back comes off the board between now and my next pick. Not that surprised because like Mark Ingram might go. There may be some Tony Pollard love out there. But there's not a whole lot at that left at running back for anybody to get that excited about. So I'm looking more at, who do I get with my last pick? And maybe with a draft like this, maybe I do take a little bit more of a gamble and I go with a guy like a Bryan Edwards and really kind of solidify this Las Vegas stack, which is really, as a Cowboys fan, making me honestly really upset that I have Carr and Waller in multiple places already, and not nearly enough Cowboys. But I do feel really good about having CeeDee Lamb, because I do think he's going to play, and the Cowboys need him to play in order for him to be able to kind of recover, in order for that offense to be able to recover. All right, and it looks like, oh, come on. Tony Pollard off the board right in front of me, which means I'm going to go ahead and scoop up. I'm going to go ahead and scoop up Kenyon Drake here, because I need to pick up a running back, and it's either I go Kenyon Drake, or I go one of the Buffalo running backs, or Jamal Williams, who has kind of fallen off. Like, he started off pretty big, but then really fell off. So yeah, I don't like any of those options. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop up Drake there. And then with the last pick, I'm going to play a little bit of spoiler here, because I do not feel that confident about really any of these other options there. I don't like Cedric Wilson. I don't like Traquan Smith. I don't like Allen Robinson, which, again, what a place of football we're in right now, where Allen Robinson is that much of a hit. I'm going to go ahead and scoop up Dawson Knox. It's not a great move, but it's a move that could pay off, in the sense that now, that person with that first overall pick, whose team was, shaping up pretty good, Dak, David Montgomery, Darnell Mooney, Mark Ingram, Hunter Renfrow, is now going to end up with a tight end like Cole Kmet, Jawan Johnson, and then it falls to Nick Vannett, Tommy Sweeney. There's just not really anything left there. So, I think Dawson Knox can have himself a decent day, but I am really not that excited for that option. I'm going to see if I can get one more kind of play in here before we call it a day, and I bid you all a very happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to try and jump into the Battle Royale, the Turkey Bowl. I'm going to try and make that happen, and it looks like I got in right at the end of it, because there were people there and they just disappeared. But in the meantime, we're going to take a quick wow. It's a good thing it's coming up to Thanksgiving, because I'm getting all sorts of jumbled up over my words. But we're going to take a quick little look at the upcoming slate. Like I said, doing mostly the Thursday games. I honestly have the most fun doing those on this. But if you want to see something different, then again, hit me up. That's what I enjoy doing. I'll see what else is out there for you. So the Thursday games, you have the Bears and Lions, who, yeah, that's going to be painful to watch. We talked about it on the show last night. Go check that out at GX Fantasy Facts if you want. That just didn't look pretty at all. Then you have the Raiders and the Cowboys, should be a little bit better game. The Bills and the Saints should also be a little bit better game. Some other games to really kind of take note of coming up. There is some really good, just like regular NFL games coming up. A lot of kind of playoff games that you want to try and keep an eye on, because usually when teams are in playoff contention, they play a little bit better, right? So you have games between the Steelers and Bengals coming up. That's also a game you could get some good fantasy points out of. The Bucks and the Colts, another game where, a lot of really good fantasy points could come out of that. What's going to happen with Jonathan Taylor coming off his massive game? He set the pace for scoring this season with his Week 11 output, in the absolute thrashing that the Colts put on the Bills. The Bills may be looking to take that out on the Saints, tomorrow night. But really good matchup between the Bucks and the Colts. The Colts don't have one of the best defenses. The Bucks have a really solid defense, a really solid offense. But the Colts, that offense is, wow, they are good. All right. As I kind of wrap up there, there's again just a couple of good ones. The Rams and the Packers, another really good matchup. The Rams, really explosive offense, but the Packers decent defense. Rams middle of the pack defense. Packers good offense. If Aaron Rodgers can play with his turf toe issue, so definitely some games there to highlight. And then a game where we might just see some we Pat and I were joking of just sheer incompetence. Yes, that's going to happen with the Jets and Texans, but it could be a game that leads to some offense because both defenses are just so god awful. So there may be some fun to be had in that game in terms of fantasy, in terms of some DFS type slates, in terms of some pick 'em that you can do on underdog as well. All right, we got the Turkey Bowl up and running. I am going to go ahead. I haven't been able to scoop Dak Prescott yet. I am going to take him with the first overall pick. I'm excited for it. One, because that gives me, I've done a couple of these now. It gives me a Josh Allen lineup. It gives me a Dak Prescott lineup. It gives me a Derek Carr lineup. And it gives me, I think, I don't think I've had to reach so far down where I've taken Trevor Siemian, but he would be my fourth option. I might get a few more runs in before actual kickoff on Thursday on Turkey Day, where I might get one in where I get Simeon in, just because you never know what's going to happen with some of these slates. So being able to diversify and being able to have a bunch of different lineups is where you can actually make a little bit of money. So let's see. Gonna go ahead and get this shared for everybody. This is gonna be our final draft of the lunch break because I do need to get back to a little bit of work at some point. They do have me working on the last day before Thanksgiving, but that's all right. Let's see. Let's see if we can actually zoom in a little bit. I feel like we're always so far away. There we go. Look at that. We're getting better every day. All right, so we have off the board already. We have DeAndre Swift, Josh Allen, Zeke, David Montgomery, Stephon Diggs, Derek Carr comes off the board. Which puts me again in that tricky spot where I really just want to keep, hitting this Darren Waller button. And I really don't see much reason not to, but just to diversify, to see how we can kind of mix it up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to scoop up Josh Jacobs here first. I'm going to wait on tight end. And see what we get out of this. I'm going to scoop up Josh Jacobs. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scoop up CeeDee Lamb again. I want to be diverse. I want to diversify my portfolio, but CeeDee Lamb he's the best option if he plays. And granted, that is a big if that I'm getting more nervous about the more times I put him into my lineups. But I am very I'm very optimistic that he's going to play, and if he does play, he's the second best option in this lineup, behind Stephon Diggs. And so now I feel really comfortable. I do feel like I, gave that second person a pretty nice little stack there with Derek Carr and Darren Waller, but that's all right. I have that in a bunch of other places, so hopefully it pays out. It is really nice, though, that they were able to get that stack with DeAndre Swift being in that first round. So that's really nice, a really nice setup for them right there. We'll have to see how this kind of shakes out a little bit, because now, as I'm looking at this, you have to start two wide receivers, and man, there is just once you get past Diggs, Lamb, and Mooney, it becomes a really tricky kind of play for wide receivers. And they just took Hunter Renfrow, who I was just about to talk about as one of those other options there. He's a safe floor type of guy. Doesn't give you a ton of upside, but does give you a nice little floor. So Hunter Renfrow would have been the player I was looking at to be my second wide receiver. Emmanuel Sanders is kind of next on my list there. Cole Beasley fits in there because one of them is probably going to have themselves a good day. It's just a question of who. And then after that, I'm not that excited about anybody else. I mean, then Amon-Ra St. Brown, that could be an option in some DFS plays, but he just hasn't produced at a level that provides much confidence. And that's what you're looking for. Same thing with Bryan Edwards. He had one big game against Kansas City. Does he get that against the Cowboys moving forward? And the answer is it's hard to say. So I'm going to go with some upside and spread out the games that I'm picking from here. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to scoop up Emmanuel Sanders with this pick. And with my next pick here, almost last pick, I have almost no New Orleans players. And honestly, I don't feel that bad about it. I really don't. I think I am going to go ahead. I think I'm going to scoop up Mark Ingram here. Or I'm going to go ahead and scoop up Hawkinson and hope that like Mark Ingram either falls to me in the last pick here, or I can pivot again and see if there's another guy that I want to try and move to. Try and just adjust the screen just a tad so that we can get more of it on the board here. And it does look like Cole Beasley went off right afterwards, which is kind of funny because the person in that second spot seems to be kind of following with a lot of the same thought process that I've been having. I do really, really like the fact, though, that they were able to get DeAndre Swift in that first round and then still be able to double up with Derek Carr and Darren Waller. I think that may be one of my favorite setups right now. Because you typically don't get to have a really good running back and a really good stack. So let's see here. So we got Dak, we got CeeDee Lamb with a nice little stack. We have Josh Jacobs, Emmanuel Sanders, TJ Hawkinson, and I wonder, do we go with a little bit of fun here? Oh, and somebody actually just scooped up Tony Jones in front of me. I was going to say, do we go with a little bit of fun here and try and scoop up Tony Jones as another option? You know what? I'm going to go ahead and go with Bryan Edwards here. And if Dak and CeeDee Lamb do what I'm expecting them to do, having a third wide receiver here in that comeback hopefully will pay off nicely for me. So there it is, folks. There's the last draft of the day. It is Dak at quarterback. Josh Jacobs is my running back. And then at wide receiver, I have CeeDee Lamb. Again, optimistic he plays, but something to keep an eye on. Emmanuel Sanders and Bryan Edwards. And then for tight end, TJ Hawkinson, who, again, it's definitely a drop off from Waller. I think I have, Schultz, Hawk, and Knox pretty much in the same little grouping there, where I didn't mind which one of them I got, which means I probably could have waited on Hawk, but why not? I wanted to get into a little bit of that Detroit Bears game, and I think he could be one of the few people outside of DeAndre Swift who went in the first that that you may have that opportunity to play. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Week 12, hashtag lunchtime live draft. I want to wish you all a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe, enjoy it, have a lot of fun with family, food, and football. I hope everybody gets that opportunity. And like always, hit me up on the Twitters at FF the At Home Dad. Check out the show at GX Fantasy Facts. And make sure if you are not already playing Underdog Fantasy, you get on there as soon as possible. Use the promo code FACTS. The promo is still running. I can't tell you how long it'll still run, but it's still running right now. If you deposit $100, up to $100, your first time, you're going to get matched $100. That's $200 to play with. I like free money. You should like free money. Everybody likes free money. Go do it. Jump in there. Catch you on the flip side.